And we're back, guys. We're back. Very, very sad day for Rogue Actions, of course, today. Our boy Cubs hanging up the saber on Galaxy of Heroes and Rogue Actions. Rogue Actions will continue, though, with a new host in 2023. TBC. Hey, subject to change. Don't worry about that. We'll work out a plan of attack. So give us some time. Hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. You know how it is. But yeah, I know it was really hard, Cubs. We can quickly talk about it now. I know that you found it really, really difficult to make that video you just did not that long ago. Hanging up the saber, man. How are you feeling now that you've sort of said it and it's out there? How are you feeling now that it's public?
I'm still questioning myself, to be honest. It's very hard. It's very hard to pull the trigger on something like this. Yeah, I don't want to, but I think I have to be honest with myself. I don't see myself, unless something big changes in the game, I don't see myself ever finding that flame for Galaxy of Heroes again. And so I think it's just time to move on.
It's just time, and that's the way it goes. Yeah. Absolutely. So let's just quickly delve in just a little bit. We're not going to get super negative Nelly here, right? Let's be honest. We're not going to get down that track, but there are questions to be asked here. And I think, again, a caliber of a player like yourself who has been so passionate and invested for the game since its inception, to decide, look, I'm at the point now where I just don't want to play it anymore. That's a big deal. That really is a big deal. And it does need to be discussed. The issue is, I feel, and you're not alone. There's quite a lot of people like you at the moment. They're doing exactly the same thing. They're questioning, whether they want to continue to play the game or not. And that's been a problem for a while. We're not doom and gloom here. This is just fact. We see it in Discord all the time. We speak to so many people. We've got friends that we've been playing games with for 5 years saying goodbye to us because they don't want to play it anymore. This is the sort of stuff that's going on. So we're not making it up. We're not dramatizing it. We're just telling you where things are at right now. Right. So with that being the thing, player engagement, I feel is a huge, huge problem unless you're right in at the pointy end. I think that's really tricky. I think certainly new players, they're advancing through and the catch-up mechanics are there these days in the game for people to catch up. But that's going to take a while to get to the real meat and potatoes type of content that, end game players are playing right now. But as far as player engagement goes, what is there anything else that can be done, Cubs, or are we just on a slippery slope here from now on? Like, what is there something that can be turned around to arrest the long-term players' dissatisfaction with the game recently?
Yeah, and so I can only answer for myself. But first and foremost, one thing I want to make very clear: I'm just an average guy. I am my opinion does not carry more weight than somebody else watching this video came on and quit the game 6 months ago. I happen to have an audience because I decided to make YouTube videos. And so I think that maybe there feasibly are people who care about what I think. But that said, I want to be clear that, like, me quitting the game doesn't mean that, I think sometimes people put a lot of weight on, like, YouTubers quitting. It's like, oh my gosh, like a YouTuber quit. That means something. No, Mobile Gamer quit the game 3-4 years ago. Game's still here, right? And Arnold could quit the game. Game would still be here. It's we don't have that much power. And so no. I just want to be clear that I'm not necessarily sitting here thinking my opinion carries more weight. But to get back to your question, for me, I honestly could not tell you what CG could do that would bring me back to this game right now, because I can't think of a single thing.
Really? It's like that.
It's like that.
That's not great. That's not great.
No.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's quite a serious issue. That is quite a serious issue. And my next question around that as well, it has to be really, really simple. What are some of the things that have really pushed that more? What has made that decision amplified recently? Have there been decisions that have been made, things made to the game, attitudes? What exactly has got to the point you go, you know what? I'm not feeling this. I'm just not feeling it.
If I could point to one thing that probably made the biggest impact in pushing me out of the game, it was datacrons.
Crons, straight up? Yeah.
Not even close. For right now. Now, I think it's, over the last year and a half, 2 years, things have gotten pretty tough, right? I think there's a lot in there that we could probably look at and examine that kind of contributed to this. But datacrons in particular were the thing that just made me look at my favorite part of this game, which was Grand Arena, and just made me think, I don't even want to play that.
Yeah.
It ruined.
Yeah.
It effectively ruined Grand Arena for me. And I was trying to like, I refused to engage with them. Right. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that. But it also that knocked me right out of the competitive bracket I was in, which I was fine with. But that also just kind of trivialized Grand Arena and made it not what it used to be. It wasn't as fun anymore.
Yeah, it was more who's got the better crons, not necessarily who's a better player.
Yeah, and it's maybe datacrons would have been fun in 2017 when we were all willing to spend 7 hours a day playing this game, pretending that we were pooping.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
No, I think a lot of us are already kind of hanging by life support, and to introduce something like that this late in the game, I don't think that it. I know a lot of people are fine with it, but I think even if you're honest, Heinze, I think even a lot of people at the top are engaging with datacrons, but aren't really huge fans of them.
I think they're a necessary evil for most players, especially at the top end. I think everyone understands that at that level they need them. Do they actually want to farm
because they
them?
exist? But if they could just not use datacrons, I think everyone would just delete them from the game if they could. Right?
If every player got together and said, "Let's just set teams without crons," yeah, there would be a lot of happy people. But obviously, that just would not happen. I mean, you have an advantage there. People are going to use it, of course. That's the game they built that in.
Yeah.
And
No, yeah, I get that. I get that.
but certainly I've as far as what I've seen in the past, I've seen certainly a lot of the player base fall. When relics were first invented, and I think we all agree now that relics have been a good addition to the game. I think they really helped a lot of characters be a lot more useful and viable that weren't previously.
The
I think that's been
timing of the
really, really
relic
cool.
announcement was bad, but
It was. It was.
yeah,
It was. But long term, there was certainly a lot of people that left at the time, and I think that when you look back, it wasn't as extreme as we all thought it was.
no,
This is this. Let's call it what it is. Crons are next level. They are next level. I've never seen the amount of the player base dissatisfied with them. I just haven't, and I hate being negative about stuff, Cubs. You know this. I don't like I don't like ranting. I don't like losing my
yeah,
mind over stuff, but it is that bloody serious that, people are quitting this game. Top end players, Joe Blow's been playing the game, veteran players, everybody. There's been so many. Free to play players have gone, stuff this. I can't be competitive anymore. It's that much of an issue, over the last 6 to 8 months. And it's really obvious that certainly there just is no there's just such a reluctance for engagement for
yeah,
that particular, product. And I've never seen anything like it. And people have gone, you know what? I don't need it. That's the sign for me. And I hate saying it and I hate seeing it. But you got to call it what it is. I mean, we're here to tell people what our opinions and what we think. And whether you like that or not, well, that's totally up to you. But
right,
certainly if you want to be competitive, you have to have them. It's as simple as that. If you want to play the game that way. But it's certainly a frustrating thing, but yeah, it's a big problem, and certainly hopefully that at some point down the track, sooner rather than later, that may be addressed, or certainly something else brought in to improve it to take that issue away.
If
Let's move on to the next
can
quick
I
thing.
say one
Obviously,
more thing?
yeah, of course, please, yeah, of course,
Yeah, because while you were talking, I was reflecting on your initial question as well. And maybe this can lead into lessons CG has learned.
yeah,
But I think also like I'm pointing to datacrons. It's very specific. If I could give a more general reason, I think over the last couple years, it just, in my opinion, it became more and more evident to me that CG's priorities on hearing player concerns and catering to player needs was decreasing. I'm not going to say it didn't exist and that they didn't care, but it actually felt like it was getting less and less of a priority for Capital Games. And that was really troubling to me as well. I'll give you an example, like the gear update, right? Like they told us we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And how long did it take for that phase 2 to come? And how many things were released in the midst of that were the cash grabs and things. So like obviously those things are going to be the priority. They got to affect their bottom line. But the proportion of player needs that were met versus those cash grabs was the gaps seem to be increasing. I'll give you another great example, Heinze.
Yeah, please.
Ship loadouts are and it's kind of like a meme at this point, but
It is.
that's a very legitimate, like, with the way that this game works, that's a very, very valid thing for this community to ask for. And I know that CG has said before, like, oh, that's hard for us to do or whatever. And I'm like, I don't give a shit if it's hard for you to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
This is your game. You've made $1 billion on this game. You need to figure out how to add something very fundamental to the way the game works for ships as well, since we have it so functionally for characters. And so I think, and there may be people at CG who are listening to me, they're like, no, we totally care. All right, great. You failed to show me that you care.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is. Prove it.
Yeah.
No, like, that's the thing. It's all good to say we care about the community and the needs, and we're listening to you. I mean, how many times have we heard that? We're listening to you. If you're listening, you might be listening, but you're not hearing us. Like, that's the thing. And I mean, we can understand that, the game is the game, and we understand that certainly, it's a collector game, and we expect, the marquees and all the packs and all that sort of stuff to come in. We totally accept that. But there are some things that players want, and if they don't get it, then it becomes a one-way street. And a lot of people don't feel like, this is the game for them if you're not
Yeah.
actually listening to what people want. You
Yeah.
give the people what they want, they'll come back for more. I mean, that's sales 101. Like, that really is. So,
At least some of what we want.
certainly just a little bit.
Actually,
And
no,
that
how about
does-
datacrons? We'll just give them that. They're going to love that
But
shit.
that does come to the question: have they learned anything, Cubs? Have they gone? You know what? We've learned our mistakes here. Have they actually addressed any of the mistakes they've made, or not really?
So again, I'm a little bit cynical right now. Obviously, I'm quitting the game.
Yeah.
So I'll call out my bias.
Mhm.
I would flip that question around on CG and say, I'd love for you to tell me what you've learned.
Mm.
I don't see a whole lot of evidence that they are learning, personally. I see a whole lot of evidence that they feel like what they're doing is working and they don't need to change.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. And again, they would maybe believe that, but whether that's actually happening or not, if there's players not playing, it
Yeah.
kind of counteracts that argument, doesn't it? So anyway, we'll have to wait and see where that all plays out. But yeah, certainly, I think there's still so much to do, and I think a lot of it can still be done. And I think
Sure.
just listening to some of the things that we've been asking for some time would go into that correct go in the right direction of helping, repair the relationship with the players. Because at the moment, a lot of people are thinking you're just doing us over. You don't give a shit about us. That's what people are thinking. We're not
Right.
making this up. All right, we're not. We got no agenda here. We just
No.
hear a lot of stuff from people, and this is what they're telling us. And if you don't believe us, well, that's on you. But I'm telling you, what people are telling us. You got a problem with that? Fair enough. That's on you. But anyway, let us know in the comments below whether you think they've learned anything. Is there anything they can add? What do they need to do to help repair, let's be honest, a fractured relationship with the player base? That's what I feel it's like right now. And it's certainly
Well,
not a great.
they put that galactic legend immunity to fracture, Heinze, so they're not even penetrated by that fracture.
Correct. Yep. It's all about
It's only
penetration.
slowing them down a bit.
All about penetration, Cubs, but let's leave that one alone for another video, mate. Not this one, straight up. Hey, look, we got one viewer's choice question, and it is a game based one, but it's a theory. It's a prediction, an idea of what we could get, and it's a cool question. For those that don't know, we'll be asking them again next year, so keep putting them in because Rogue Action is going to continue. We're just going to get a new host, and we're going to work that out over the coming weeks while we're having a bit of a break into 2023. So get your questions in. Discord server below. There's a Rogue Actions questions channel. Keep popping your questions in there. We're going to keep asking. We're going to keep answering them. Don't worry about that. Buffalo King has thrown this question at us. Could we in future maybe get a Green Leader pilotless A-Wing? Okay. Now, this particular ship is the one that kamikazed into the Executor in the movie.
Mhm.
So could we at some point get the Green Leader A-Wing that would basically provide an Executor insta-kill to the capital ship?
I'm
in a
just
fleet battle?
laughing so hard that my last moments of Rogue Actions is going to be answering a freaking ship question.
Well, why not? Because I had to do this. It was a ship question, and you know what? What are you going to do
You
about
picked it
Like,
because of that.
yes, I did.
Own
I
it.
absolutely did. I absolutely did. And you know what? If you don't like it, tough shit. Because you know what? It's the last one I'm going to ask you. So you're just going to have to suck it up. All right. But are we going to get it or not?
Yes, it's coming next week, imminently.
and everyone's getting it for free. That would be amazing.
And it will make me relinquish my commitment to quit the game. I'm coming back.
I couldn't help myself, Cubs. Had to be done, mate. Had to be done.
I
But
love it. I love it. As soon as you start, I was like, he's doing this on purpose. This sly
yeah,
dog.
yeah. Couldn't help myself. Some things just don't change. I'm still a clown. Always will be. Look, we're going to wind this one up, Cubs. Thank you so much, mate, for joining us. It's good to finish with the laugh. It really is.
Yeah.
Because that's what these videos are all about, mate. You know, we try and bring a lighthearted approach and a bit of a laugh and a chuckle where we can, and certainly keep you informed. But we want to keep you entertained as well. That's what it's always been around, and Rogue Actions will always be that with the next new co-host as well. So let us know in the comments below who you would like to join me in the seat next to Cubs in future. We'd really, really love to hear your thoughts, and
Cast your vote.
we'll put your vote in. Let us know who you want, because at the end of the day, it's for you guys. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for being a part of it. Hit the sub button. We're going to miss you, Cubs. Again, you're not dead. You're not gone. But we're going to miss you in the Swiggo community, mate, because you've done so much for us for a long time. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, my friend. It's been an honor. It really has. And
Wow.
we'll see you Fourth Ghost style, mate, in some other video down the track or some Twitch stream or some crazy stuff like that. We'd love to see you again, brother. It'd be amazing.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Mwah. See ya.
See ya.